Welcome to another inspiring episode of the Elite Expert Insider Podcast. Hosts Melanie Johnson and Jen Foster are the owners of Elite Online Publishing. They're both Wall Street Journal, USA Today best-selling authors. We're really glad you're here because this podcast was designed for you. Meet industry experts that share their secrets and strategies. Get successful results for your business in money, relationships, health, and your life. Each episode is going to inspire you to take action towards reaching your greatness.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode. We're so glad to have you here. I'm Melanie Johnson, owner of Elite Online Publishing, along with my co-owner, Jen Foster. Hey, Jen, how are you?
I'm doing great. How's everyone today?
Good. What's on my mind today is money. How do we make more money? How do we understand how to make money? We have Myles Gage with us, who created this amazing platform called Rapunzl Investments, which is really an educational platform of how to learn about how to invest in the stock market, but you can earn while you learn, which I think is a really cool concept. So we're going to dive in and we're going to learn all about this and things that you should know. And if you don't know, then maybe you should jump on this platform so you can learn about them. Welcome, Myles. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having me, Melanie and Jen. It's great to be here. And I'm really excited to chat with you all today.
Awesome. Tell us, Myles, how you got started in this and how you became the co-founder of this.
I'm going to give you the short story first, and maybe we'll back into the long story. So around 2016, a close friend of mine from high school and I noticed that a lot of our friends were using digital investing platforms to buy and sell stocks, but didn't understand the fundamentals about investing and were losing money. And that really just put a light bulb clicked in our head, basically that we saw an opportunity to create a platform that was educational to inform people about investing without risking their own money. And so essentially what Rapunzl is a stock market simulator. So we give users 10,000 fictional dollars that they're able to use to buy and sell stocks of publicly traded companies along with cryptocurrencies. And that way users can see what their returns or losses are without risking their own money. So it's really to get people comfortable with the idea of financial markets and the price movement on a day-to-day basis. So you can get comfortable and understand that sometimes stock prices drop, but that doesn't mean sell everything. And in actuality, that may be an opportunity to buy more at a lower price. So it's really a stepping stone to get people invested. And we called our app Rapunzl because people often view the world of investing and the returns of Wall Street as something that's perched in an ivory tower that's often deemed as inaccessible to most people. So we're rolling down their hair to provide equitable access to financial markets.
So what do you think the biggest holes are in education that people should know? Like, you deal with high school students and then 18 plus. What are like the top three things that, like, if you said, hey, you're going to go on to Rapunzl, you should definitely do these three courses first? Or what's the most important thing for us to know?
I think the most important thing to know is the intro to the stock market. What is it and how does it work? Because if you don't know what it is or how it works, you're going to have a lot of fear. And I think the biggest aspect or the biggest drawback with a lot of people is they think that it's gambling or you're going to lose money. And the thing is, on a short-term basis, if you're just trying to buy a stock today and sell tomorrow, that's not a way to really, generate returns. And we really are trying to emphasize the importance of long-term investing because there are these things called market cycles. There are times when the economy is growing and there are times when the economy is shrinking or contracting, similar to a period that we're in now. But these are great opportunities for people to really start investing to get into the market because it's like a Kmart Blue Light special. Things are on sale.
I like that because even me, like, I have never really been taught any of this. So you hear words all the time like S&P 500 and go invest in this 401k or this IRA or this Roth. And who knows what all these things mean. So
Not really short
nice
selling.
to have some education on this so we know what you're actually putting your money into and what a Roth really means, what a 500 S&P, what that means, what everything means.
Right.
I'm afraid of, like, how do you get terms to piggyback on what Jen is saying? To go into the stock market, to buy and sell has been my thing. It's okay, I know how to buy, I know how to sell, but then it's to short sell, to do futures, to do all that stuff. It's like, oh, I don't know, I might screw that up. It's a little scary. What do you learn about the stock market? How do you recommend someone get started in it? What are the first things that they should do? Should they jump in and learn about futures and short selling? And
Absolutely not. I think the first thing, if you're curious about the stock market, I think this is something that you want to do, and I think everyone should do it. I think it's to first start to educate yourself and to start to read. So you don't necessarily have to just go invest tomorrow, but I think it's getting privy and understanding market conditions and reading like the Wall Street Journal or the Economist, just to understand what's going on in the world. And then if you have an idea about like how the economy is doing, then I would say that to actually start researching actual companies themselves that you may think that you want to invest in. And or if you are still maybe fearful about making an investment in a specific company, I think I would encourage someone to start buying like a mutual fund or index fund or an ETF that tracks like a sector or gives you exposure to all the companies that are in the S&P 500 as a means of achieving diversification. Because most of the times, most people aren't going to be the best individual stock pickers, but having that general exposure to the market is something that I would encourage younger or newer investors to do.
I like that. Yeah, I'm going to download the app right now. I was just recently watching a financial literacy type show on Netflix, and the football player there was told to invest in the stock market, and he didn't know what to do, where to even start. So I love that this app teaches you and you can learn and earn. Talk a little bit about how you can earn with the app.
Absolutely. That's such a great question. So one of the biggest aspects or challenges upon creating this was like, how do you incentivize users to stay on the platform, especially when there are all these other platforms where you can actually invest with real money? And so we're like, people are incentivized by prizes. So one of the coolest part about our simulator versus some of the other ones that exist is we have competitions. So users can enter competitions and earn scholarship or cash prizes if you're over the age of 18. So basically in 2018, when we initially launched the platform, we were trying to figure out how do we get users. And what we ended up doing was partnering with the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago for their Money Smart Week, or for April, which is Financial Literacy Month. And we pitched the idea of hosting a high school investment competition. And then we were like, okay, let's go figure out the prize. So we went to an investment firm, Ariel Investments, and they sponsored that competition. And we distributed $20,000 in scholarship prizes. And people and teachers were open to us coming and talking to their students because they knew there were scholarships. So that was like the hook there. And that ultimately served as the catalyst for us doing this competition every year in private competitions for different companies or organizations, because there's a scholarship aspect, right? So that's one market, that's one thing. But then we're like, okay, we know that there's this huge world out there. It's college students. And they're not necessarily just going to listen to what their teachers tell them to do. In fact, they're probably, if their teachers tell them to do it, they're going to do the exact opposite. But all college students have one thing in common, and that's the fact that they're struggling college students. They don't have a lot of money. So they're always looking to make extra income. So we figured a way to reach the college demographic and encourage them to utilize our platform when they could go to other platforms and trade with real money or invest with real money. Let's give away cash. And so basically, we have a structure where we distribute cash prizes to the top 30% in our competitions. And the way that we fund those prizes is through like the various contracts that we get from hosting private competitions for companies or nonprofit institutions, or some of our workforce training, because Rapunzl also has a full curriculum. And we teach that to people, not necessarily schools, but to new hires at companies. So we charge for those services. And what we're able to do is take a portion of the proceeds from those contracts and distribute them to the users that participate in our competitions.
That's so cool. I love that. It just has such a big meaning on top of what you're teaching and everything. It really benefits a lot of people. In one of your modules, you talk about thinking like an investor. So what do you have to do for your mindset? Because everything always starts with in the head, right? It's starting with that mindset. So how do you start to think like an investor?
I think that you have to view yourself as an investment first. And I think a lot of people in the world are major consumers, right? The new iPhone is coming out. We need to get it. People are lining up, or everyone has an Amazon Prime account and you're shopping every day. But once you think about the fact that there is a business and there are people that are benefiting from every time you buy a new iPhone or every time you order a package, and you think that, oh, I could be a part owner of that company, then that's when the light bulb clicks off. And I think that's like the mentality that you have to have when investing, or just to even think about the world in general. So once you start thinking about things from that perspective, then you have a different perspective on things. And then getting more into the specifics of like how an investor actually operates, I think that a lot of really successful investors aren't, unless you're like a hedge fund manager or something like that, you're not necessarily thinking about how am I getting rich overnight. A lot of the best investors are doing this for a long period of time. And one of our favorite people to refer to is Warren Buffett. And he's really popularized the strategy of buying and holding. Think about businesses that you would actually want to own forever. So it's if I buy Nike shoes, and I should probably be a shareholder of Nike, because every month or every other month I'm buying a new pair of shoes. So why wouldn't I be a part owner of this company? And if that's the case, why would I sell my shares of this company? Because I'm a patron of this business all the time. So that's the mentality that we try to instill in people that participate or go through the curriculum that we developed.
I love that. I think that's great to start with the investment of yourself first. And that's part of that mindset. If you don't feel like you are valuable, then why, you just got to get your head in the right space. And then you can go out and learn about the investments and how to do it and do the simulation. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you ever thought, Myles, I mean, you have all these great courses. We're in the publishing business. We do physical books and audiobooks and stuff. How cool it would be to turn some of those courses into books, because you're looking at college students and you're looking at, and Amazon is this huge search engine that once the books are up, they become a search engine for you. I think that would be really cool. Have you ever thought about creating a book out of some of this content?
Absolutely. And that's something that's on the pipeline for the next 6 to 12 months, is trying to get something published, actually.
Yeah, because people consume content in so many different ways, through the course, through audiobooks, through YouTube videos and podcasts, obviously. So they're going to find you through our podcast.
Absolutely. And then licensing the curriculum. That's one of the things that we're working on.
Yeah, cool.
Great. Tell us a little bit about your experience. I know you had said previously in the green room that you took a van out and visited all these cities. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
All right. So as I mentioned, our first foray into business was with high school students and doing a high school investment competition. And we always knew that we wanted to tap the users over the age of 18, because we know that's a bigger market and it's easier to market products to adults. So we have been working on figuring out how we would launch cash competitions. But with app development, things take time. Roughly around July of 2021, we were finally able to finish the build out in the app that would allow us to disperse payments to users that won cash competitions. And we were thinking okay, how do we get this in front of college students? Mind you, we're still in the middle of the pandemic and we're not sure if things are going to close again or if campuses are going to shut down. So we were we just need to go on a road trip and meet these potential users where they're at. And we were figuring out other streams or other mediums to market the platform, digital ads and things like that. And we were okay, this is just moving a little slow right now. So we need to just get in front of these users, especially with the uncertainty if we weren't able to be physically on campuses. So what we did is we bought a Ford Transit van. We wrapped it in the Rapunzl logo and we drove to the colleges around us or near us. So we're based in Chicago. So we hit all the Big Ten schools from state, University of Illinois, IU. And then we were okay, well, we need to go branch out and go south, because mind you, it's September. So in the Midwest, it starts to get cold around October. So we're not going to be able to table on these campuses because it's just going to get too cold. So we devised a map or mapped out all of the schools from Chicago to Dallas or to Houston, Texas. And we drove. Basically, we drove to 30 different colleges between September of 2021 and April of 2022. So we ultimately end up driving. We hit Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, Austin, and turned around, drove back through the South, back through Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. And then we came home. So that was last year, but it was a really good trip. And we got, like I said, we got to meet our users in person and got to see what they like, what they didn't like, and see who were the students that were stopping and talking to us to really help us tailor our outreach towards them. And in the process, we got 10,000 new users on the platform. So I would call that a success.
Definitely. I love that. Road trips are always fun, and to go and meet your users and get that feedback is key in any business.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, Myles, tell us where we can find you.
You can find us on Twitter or Instagram at Rapunzl Investments without the E. So it's RAPUNZL and investment spelled the normal way. And you can also find us, more importantly, in the iOS App Store and the Google Play under Rapunzl Investments, same spelling. And you found it if you see a green castle.
Love that.
I love the green castle. That's so cool. Check it out. Check out Myles, Gage, and Rapunzl Investments and start making some money while you learn. So remember, join us next time. And if you're looking to publish a book, check us out at eliteonlinepublishing.com. We guarantee all authors that work with us will become #1 bestsellers. And we have limited availability, but fill out that submission button. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
We'll see you next time. I'm going to go download that app and share it with my college students.
Download Rapunzl and use Elite Online Publishing and become a #1 bestseller.
Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.